I think I am live. Cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Today is Sunday, May 5th. Yeah, May 5th. Um, so I normally do these live streams at like in the afternoon or evening, I should say, of Sundays. But today, I decided to go 4 o'clock because I have some things that I need to get done later today, so just kind of ignore me while I adjust the tripod. Um, but cool. Yeah, so today is Sunday, May 5th, and I hope everybody is doing fantastic out there. Um, I know for some of my like my more like international users or international viewers, I should say, like earlier on Sundays work better. So I don't know how this works for everybody else, like this time spot, but um, I guess I am trying out 4 o'clock. I did a 4 o'clock one a few weeks ago, but we'll see. But let me know in the comments if I sound okay, if I look good, everything looks good on your end, because I'm always worried that it's not working out for you guys. But today I just wanted to talk a little bit about movies. I have a stack of films here that I recently watched that I figured I will share with you guys and see if you guys watched anything interesting, and we could just talk like always. So sounds and looks good. Thank you. Cool. So yeah, it is. It's been a very busy week, a weirdly busy week for me. So I didn't get to watch like a ton of things this week. I feel like this last like couple of weeks has just been absolutely insane. I will say quickly that um, the or last week's live stream, it was Sunday. I unfortunately had to leave like abruptly, so I do apologize for that again. There has been um, there's been a stray cat that's been kind of running around our house, and he came back to us on Sunday or last week, and so I had to quickly leave the live stream and see if I could go, get him, see if he had a collar on or anything like that. He doesn't like people coming up to him, so unfortunately, I was not able to actually grab him. He kind of ran away, so. That is an update of that situation. I've not seen him since, so he might have found a home. I don't know. So, um, I'm a big cat person, so I do love when cats come around the house. But so that's that, I guess. But can you explain the Lost Sleepaway Camp 4? That was half shot, and in that one box set you have back there. And is it a good movie? Yes. So Sleepaway Camp in this box set here, um, it has Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3, and Sleepaway Camp 4, I believe, is only. Let me grab it. Um, okay. um, so Sleepaway Camp 4 was never officially released. It's in this like all the other movies are in like regular cases, but this is in like a plastic or a paper sleeve. I believe it's the production footage from the unfinished Sleepaway Camp 4. So I don't think this is a very long movie, if I'm like, because it's not finished. I forget how long it actually was. Um, and I will say that it has been I feel like I did watch this, but it's been a very, very long time since I've seen it. So I can't quite say if it was good or not. Um, so I do apologize, but I don't know if I can actually tell you if it was good, or worth checking out. It's just been a very long time since I've actually watched all of these movies. Um, and yeah, I unfortunately it doesn't say anywhere on this box. Um, but yeah, I would love to. I should revisit that. But from what I remember, it wasn't like super good. I mean, it is. It's like not. It's like just production footage, so it's not like a movie. So I have to revisit it. But I do apologize if that's not really answering your question. Um, Yeah, because it is it's a weird thing that like it just didn't get finished. And then there was a Return to Sleepaway Camp movie that was put out, which I don't think it has anything to do with the original series. Um, but I have this as well, and I remember this one not being super great. I remember this being pretty bad. Um, so I the original Cult Quest. Yeah, so the original trilogy is fantastic, but this was not super great. And then from what I remember, the fourth film also wasn't super great. But let's see. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the things that I watched this week. If you are, well, first off, if you are watching this on the replay on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And any questions or comments of things that people say on this, you can feel free to leave in the comments, and I'll do my best to reply to those. But if you are new to this channel, first off, welcome. And second off, I've said this a million times on this channel before, so I do apologize for the people who are returning. But one of my goals this year is to watch 365 movies, not necessarily one every single day, but at least that many. So I am currently up to 156. So I feel like I'm doing fairly good. Um, I'm a little under halfway there, which is kind of fun. But um, so ending April into May, I've watched, let's see, there's five, six films here. Um, the first one that I watched was the movie Local Hero. Now, this is a Criterion film. It's 111 minutes from 1983. It's by number 994. And yeah, this is actually a pretty solid film. I feel like it was shot in, let's see, where was it? Scotland, Scottish Life. So yeah, Scotland. Um, it's a beautifully shot film. My wife actually picked this out for me to watch. I told her, like I don't know what to watch. I'm like, I have so many things to watch, and she suggested that I should watch this, so I checked it out, and I mean, I should say she based it solely off the cover, because it does have a very beautiful cover, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was actually a really well done movie. It's about this guy who has to basically go convince a town to sell their houses to an oil company because the oil company wants to come in and use where all these houses are for like a new like port. And so, yeah, it's very interesting. And I feel like that's a bad description, but yeah, it's a pretty fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Beautiful cinematography. So, the next one I watched is a movie. Let's see, this is a French title, but it translates to The Raven. This is from 1943. It's black and white in French. It's by number 227. It's basically it's kind of like somebody in a way it's kind of like somebody like leaving all these like notes to all these people and kind of exposing a bunch of like drama that's happening, and yeah, it's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. I feel like with Criterion you really can't go wrong with just like enjoying, like I feel like every movie that I've seen from Criterion there is like an aspect of it that I enjoy. But speaking of films that I enjoyed, this movie, I loved this movie. I thought it was very, very well done. This is coming from 2021. Or 83 minutes long, and it is an absolute beautiful film. I want to revisit this soon, um, and it might be one of the better 4K titles that I've ever seen. And that is the film Awaken, with a cool like lenticular, there we go, with a lenticular slipcover on it. This is put out by Dust. I think it's a Gunpowder and Sky Company. Okay, that's the label. But yeah, this is here's it without the slipcover. So this movie it's not necessarily like a narrative film. There's really no um there's no story necessarily. if you are familiar with um, the films, let's see. If you're familiar with this trilogy, the Koanascati trilogy, or the Scotzi, or yeah, Scotzi. I think that's how you say this. I'm not actually sure. But this box set from the Criterion Collection, the guy who made these films is a producer of this film. Also, Terrence Malick, who is also a part of the Criterion Collection quite a bit, actually. He is a one of my favorite directors. I absolutely love his work. He is also a producer behind this movie. So this movie is definitely, it leans more towards this, where it doesn't necessarily tell a narrative story, but it has elements of, it's like this was shot in, let's see, what did it say? 30 countries over a 5 year period. Um, and it's just an absolute beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. It really just make like as I was watching it, I'm like it just this like it makes me feel like small, but also like I don't know what the right word is. Um, it like makes you feel like kind of like grounded in like life. I don't know how to describe it, but it just kind of shows a lot of beautiful shots from around the world, and there's a mixture of time lapses and just uh I don't know. It just has a lot of like it kind of shows like what life really like the beauty of life. And so I would highly, highly, highly recommend checking this out, especially if you have a 4K TV or a 4K setup. This is a beautiful looking disc. I mean, some of this stuff was just shot. I want to say it's all on. I mean, assuming 35 millimeter. Um, but it truly is just a beautiful, breathtaking film that I cannot recommend enough. Um, and even if you're not a big fan of movies that are not like a coherent like story, I would still recommend just giving this a shot. You can buy this off of Vinegar Syndrome's website. It also reminded me a lot of, let's see, where is it? It reminded me of these two films as well. So if you have seen either of these films or if you enjoy either of these films, I really cannot recommend this enough. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful film. So then moving on to, let's see. Okay, thanks. I am curious to check out the Lost Sleepaway Camp film, and also I love your uh, Exorcist VHS box set. That's insane. Uh, um, there's that much in a box set. Miss those days. Yes, I'm assuming you're talking about this, right? That VHS box set up there. Um, yeah, I absolutely love that set. It like, I mean, it comes with the tape. It comes with I think the CD, like the soundtrack. There's like a film strip and like a booklet, and it's just like a giant. I mean, it's a giant box set up there that, um, yeah, I love cool editions like that, and yeah, just this really nice editions. But the next movie I watched, this is from Dario Argento. This is put out by Severin Films. This is, let's see, 121 minutes long, 1973, in Italian. So this is apparently like Dario Argento's like least viewed movie. It's the only non-horror film that he ever did. I believe this was his fourth movie that he did. Yeah, this is his fourth movie that he directed, and that is the movie The 5 Days. So if you are a fan of Dario Argento, I would recommend this. Um, I Even if you're not a fan of horror, I would still probably recommend this. I feel like it's a pretty great film. I actually really enjoyed this. It's about it kind of takes place during like the French Revolution, and just kind of this guy kind of gets himself involved, and it's very interesting to see like how Argento kind of like handles like a non-horror story. Um, and it just I would be curious on like the behind the scenes of this, on like what made him do a non like horror movie. But overall, actually, I really enjoyed this, and I would probably recommend it to uh, fans of Dario Argento. But the next thing I watched, this is from the Criterion Collection, Spy Number 291. It's from 1943, and that is the film Heaven Can Wait. I didn't know what to really expect out of this one, and I really, really enjoyed this movie. I would love to actually rewatch this and maybe get this on Blu-ray. But it kind of just follows this one guy's life, and just different parts of his life, and I should say it starts off with him kind of explaining his life to, I believe like, uh, yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a devil figure, a Satan figure. He's kind of explaining his whole life story and kind of is telling um, his what he has done and why he thinks he's a bad person and all these things. But I really enjoyed this. I would highly recommend checking this out if you are a fan of 40s like dramas. I mean, there's elements of comedy throughout this, but it's definitely more of a drama film. Um, but yeah, I really really enjoyed this. I would like to get this eventually, update this to a Blu-ray. But and then last night, the last movie that I watched. Again, I didn't watch like a ton of stuff this week just because it feels like this week has just been absolutely crazy. But this is a Igmar Bergman film from 1955, Spy Number 237, and that is the film Smiles of a Summer Night. Um, and actually, I watched this on Blu-ray because I have the Igmar Bergman box set, but I have the individual DVD here. And I guess from what I've read on this, this is kind of like one of the movies that kind of made him more popular amongst you know uh, like American audience, I guess. Um, and I believe this debuted at a film festival. I read something about that, but overall, I liked it. It wasn't my favorite Igmar Bergman film. I feel like his some of his like movies just don't feel I don't connect with as well. And this was kind of one of those that I didn't connect with as well as some of his other ones. But like I really like Autumn Sonata, I think is how you say it. Um, but yeah, there's a few other ones that I really really enjoy, but then this one and like I think it was like Cries and Whispers, I didn't really connect with all that much. But yeah, I'm slowly working my way through all of Ingmar Bergman's films, not necessarily like in any particular order. Just kind of like I should say, I'm working my way through the Criterion Collection, which has a lot of his movies within there. And so I think it was a couple weeks ago I watched. Um, this trilogy by him, which I really actually enjoyed this trilogy. And so that's what I mean. Like, I don't necessarily, some of his movies I don't connect with as well. So it wasn't a bad movie by any means, but it just wasn't my type of movie. But so yeah, that is everything that I watched this last week. But I'm curious, what are some things that you guys are watching or um, let's see, or excited to check out? But hi, Kyle, and everyone. This week I watched Hitchcock's Rear Window. Um, as far as and yesterday in a full audience through The Phantom Menace, 1920. Okay, yeah. So that reminds me that the Phantom Menace is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and I guess they're doing like a rerun in theaters. I don't know if that is if it's like just happened like a 1 day thing or what, but unfortunately, I have not got to go see it in theaters. Which I will say that I don't know if anybody on here remembers, but there was a very very brief right before Lucasfilm sold to Disney. There was a brief period where the Star Wars films were getting re-released or were planned to get re-released in theaters in 3D. It's kind of when 3D was still like a gimmick, and it was kind of still like a thing. But I went to go see Phantom Menace in theaters in 3D many many years ago. So I don't know if I'll go if it is continuously, happening, I don't know if I'll go to, see episode 1 in the theaters, um, again, because I already saw it technically in theaters. I did miss out on seeing Return of the Jedi not too long ago in theaters, which is kind of a bummer, but, um, yeah, and also Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window is a fantastic movie that, um, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. It's insane that he's able to tell us such a compelling story from just like one point of view. And yeah, I definitely love Rear Window. But um, did you see Dario's movie Suspiria 1977? I want to get it on DVD eventually. Yes, yes, I have seen Suspiria. I have the Anchor Bay limited edition DVD, I think, um, which is like a 3 disc edition, and it's just yeah, it's fantastic. Um, I would love to grab eventually. Synapse Films put out a 4K of Suspiria, and I would love to actually grab that at some point because I feel like a movie like Suspiria would look fantastic on 4K, especially the deep reds and the blues and the greens and like all the color because it was a very colorful film. But yeah, I've seen Suspiria, big fan. I really enjoy that movie, and in many ways, I actually really like the remake as well. And let's see if I can pull it quickly. Um, yeah, so the remake of Suspiria, I have the DVD of it over on the other side of the room, but the remake of Suspiria, um, it's like it's one of those remakes that I feel like they basically took the premise of the first film and then just completely changed everything about it. And in that way, like I really, really actually like this. The as I said, it's very like the original Dario Argento's film from 1977 is very colorful. There's a lot of like color throughout the whole movie, and this movie is very, very like toned down in color. It's almost like, in a way, it's like almost like grayscale, where it's very bland colors throughout the whole film, and I really like that about the movie. I feel like it gives it a different feeling. Um, and it's also this is a much longer movie. It's a 152-minute long film. Excuse me. But I believe the original Suspiria is only like an hour and a half or something. But yeah, I really enjoy Argento's work. There's like 5 movies that I've not seen of his, and I would love to pick those up at some point. I just have not had a chance, or I don't have a copy of them, or haven't had a chance to watch them. But the 5 days, this movie is the was the last one that I owned that I have not seen of his movies. Um, Actually, I take that back. I have one movie that I own that I have not seen, but I have it on VHS, and that is The Phantom of the Opera. So this is like the only other Dario Argento movie that I've not seen yet. But um, also, this is a question to anybody who has an opinion on this. Um, I keep going back and forth on if Anchor Bay is a boutique label. If you have watched my like some of my other videos in the past, I've started like a whole series talking about like the like different boutique labels and kind of what they have to offer. And I keep going back and forth if Anchor Bay is a boutique label. Now, I understand that like old Anchor Bay is people would consider it to be like one of the original boutique labels because they would do restoration, there was special features, sometimes custom packaging. But as far as new Anchor Bay titles, because I have some movies that are like put out by Anchor Bay that are just I don't know if I would consider it to be a boutique label or not. Um, and let's see, I'm trying to find an example. But I always go back and forth with that. So if anybody has an opinion on that, I'm very curious on what your guys' thoughts on that is because it's kind of like if it is a boutique label, I'm like, should I be putting it with my boutique stuff? but I also have so many Anchor Bay titles that I don't know. But do you like the movie The Dentist and The Dentist 2? And what are your thoughts on the Reanimator, um, on Reanimator by okay, so, um, sorry, I just heard the it's currently raining outside. I just, like, was wondering what that sound was. So The Dentist 1 and 2, yes, I have seen them. I have this in a nice, like, collector's edition or collector's series from Vestron Video. Um, I feel like I really liked The Dentist 1, and I feel like Dentist 2 felt a little, like, okay to me. Um, I will say if you are not a fan of The Dentist, if it makes you anxious at all, don't watch this movie. I feel like it would not be good. But overall, I really, I enjoyed these 2. And then as far as the Reanimator, I think this is the one you're talking about, I'm assuming. Yeah, because this is produced by that guy. Reanimator, I need to get a better copy of this. My version or my edition of this movie, it looks like it got water damaged at some point, but it plays fine, and I really like the green case. Um, I actually really, really like this. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Reanimator movie. I feel like it's just like it's so funny. It is such a funny movie, and it still has like the elements of like horror in it. Actually, right now at the Retro Attic, it might have sold by now, but last time I was there, he had like an original Reanimator poster, like a full size poster, and I was like, that would be amazing for this movie room, but also I just have nowhere to put posters here, so it was really cool. But I liked both. I should say I liked The Dentist number one. Dentist two was okay to me, and then Reanimator I really really enjoy. So I don't personally consider their standard Blu-rays as boutique, but I am curious to see what they're going to be doing now that they're coming back. Yes, as far as Anchor Bay. Yeah, so my only, like, thought process with like, Anchor Bay is, let me see. So, I have stuff like this, that this is put out by Anchor Bay, and this is, Fear No Evil, and so if you look I mean, inside, you have, like, a booklet, actually a decent sized booklet of, multi-page booklet thing, um you also have on the back here a decent amount of special features. And so, like, I don't know if, like, I would, like, because it's like, I don't know. I have a hard time explaining why I'm having a hard time with Anchor Bay, if that makes sense. I apologize if that doesn't make sense. Because even like these Anchor Bay tins back here are all like special editions. Um, and so it's kind of like, I don't know, I go back and forth with it, because there's certain movies that are put out by Anchor Bay now that are just not, like, boutique worthy, if that makes sense. Like, I have the film, Killing Them Softly, which has the Anchor Bay logo on it. Killing Them Softly, I believe, with Brad Pitt, and I'm like, I don't know if I would consider that to be a boutique label or not, and so the other thing is they do put out some steel books, and so this is a It Follows on a Anchor Bay steelbook, and so I don't know. I am just having the hardest time deciding if I should consider it to be a boutique label or not. It seems like there's a lot of people that do consider it to be a boutique label, um, and I don't know. So I'm just curious on like what other people would consider it to be, but Have you seen every Toxic Avenger movie slash own any? So I've seen the first one. I have a small trauma collection grow like in my collection. That's I would like to grow more, but I have the first movie on DVD, and I know they put out a box set of all of them on 4K. Um, And actually, fun. I was at a horror convention a few weeks ago, and Lloyd Kaufman was there with a whole trauma table set up, and so I kind of wish I stopped and at least got a photo with him or something. But um, yeah, it was just kind of cool to see the their whole trauma movie collection, I guess, that they had there. But I'm not a huge trauma person myself. It's not my type of movie. Um, but it's still, like, an enjoyable, like, time, I guess, if you get a group of friends together and just sit down and laugh and have a good time, but, I would like to actually eventually watch the other Toxic Avenger movies, but, yeah, it's a tough one. If I went down that road, I'd have to start considering other, small production studios like Films Boutique as well, though, LOL. Yes, I think that's also what's stopping me from considering Anchor Bay to be a boutique label because I'm like, as you say, like IFC or what was the other one that's a popular one now? RLJ. I know they had yeah, RLJE. Some people consider that to be a boutique label. Um, so yeah, because even like some people consider like A24 to be a boutique label. So um, I don't know. I always go back and forth with it. And so you know, Um, let's see. I am looking forward to seeing Alien Romulus. Yes, I have not watched the trailer. I think there was a trailer put out by, um, I feel like it was like only a couple days ago it was put out. Um, but yeah, I've been avoiding pretty much any talk about Romulus. I think that's how you say it. Um, and we'll see, because I feel like, um, I don't want to get too excited because I feel like the last, several Alien films have not been super great. Although I really enjoyed Prometheus. I thought it was actually very like interesting. So I don't know. We'll see about the new Alien film. Um, that's probably um, one of very few movies I'm like looking forward to. Um, but Yeah, I talked about this briefly in a video, or maybe was my last live stream? Um, I forget which one it was. It's something I talked about this semi recently, but I'm currently in the middle of decluttering my whole not my whole movie room, I should say, but kind of trying to declutter my movie room. Um, and I'm just trying to get rid of the stuff that I just don't really care about. And so I've been like this week too. This is kind of partially why I didn't watch a ton of stuff, but I've been like spending some time just like fast forwarding or skipping through movies that like seem interesting, that I'm like not really sure about. And so I so far I have a box over on the other side of the room that's like filling up pretty quickly of stuff that I'm going to be getting rid of. But do you own Saw 10? And do you think Saw 11 will be good? Sucks it got delayed till next year. So I do not own Saw 10, but I have seen it. I went to the theaters and watched it. And I don't know I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like in Saw 10 they were trying to make Jigsaw almost like a sympathetic character, and I don't think that's the point of the film. I think the point of the movie is, you know, like I don't even know if it really has a deeper meaning, but um yeah, Saw 10, I just felt like they were trying to make him like almost like a sympathetic like anti-hero type of person, and I'm like I don't think they should go that route for Jigsaw. I feel like he's a bad guy. He should be a bad guy because what he does is not redeemable really like by any shouldn't be redeemable by anyone's standard, but it to me it's just not a he shouldn't be like an anti-hero type of character. And I feel like they were kind of trying to do that with him in a way, especially like at the end of the movie, how he like leaves the whole situation. He has like, this kid that he's kind of like a father figure to or something. I don't know. So um, let's see. See. Have you considered sleeving some of the standard DVDs and Blu-rays that you don't feel need to be displayed in cases? You can save a lot of space. And I don't mean binders, LOL, like individual sleeves where you can keep them with the artwork. Um, I have not. I feel like personally for me, um, I am trying to I wanna do quality over quantity, and so that is just a matter of going through my collection, picking out things that I just don't feel like are adding value or stuff that I genuinely probably will never watch, um, and just focusing more on the quantity or not quantity, focusing more on the quality. Now, when I say quality, gosh, when I say quality, I'm talking about like Criterion or Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or Scream Factory or um, you know, any of these other like boutique labels that I have or Arrow Video. That's like the kind of quality that I mean. Same thing with like quality laser discs or horror VHS or horror like box sets and stuff like that. I genuinely like just feel like proud to own. So I feel like if I'm not like if it doesn't bring me like joy to have in my collection, um, I don't necessarily I don't want it in my collection. And so with that, it's like um, thankfully, I do have the room. I redid my whole basement to be a movie room, and so I feel like if it is the quality stuff, like Criterion and stuff, I want to display that. I want that to be out on a shelf, and I want to look at it. So I don't want to like collect movies just for the sake of collecting. Um, so I just feel like stuff like that of like if I like put them all in like sleeves and stuff, I feel like that would be, like me collecting for the sake of collecting. Um, and I just feel like that wouldn't like I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't like be adding value to my collection, if that makes sense. So I don't think I'll ever do that kind of like sleeve thing. And it just personally it's just not I don't really have an interest in doing that. But that's fair and smart too. I just still have a lot, even after doing that. Maybe I should be stricter. Yeah, it is not an easy, I will say, like going through your collection and deciding to keep or get rid of things, it is not an easy task. And this is definitely like, it's not a one time, it's like definitely not like a one time thing. I am going to be having to constantly be doing this. Um, and there's I mean, the wall that's behind the camera currently, there is a ton of movies on there that I probably just want to get rid of. Stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for, 2, 3, 4 years even, that I've never once picked up to watch. And it just kind of comes down to your personal like viewing patterns, what you gravitate towards more. So like me personally, I gravitate towards like Criterion or horror or some of that other like boutique stuff, and like that's just like what I prefer to watch. And so holding on to stuff with the thought of like, well, maybe someday I'll watch this. Um, I feel like it's a very like I know it's very addictive once you get started because then you start realizing like, oh, I have a bunch of stuff in here that I'm never going to watch or I'm never going to watch again. It's sitting on a shelf for the sake of sitting on a shelf. So I don't know. I'm trying to to just get rid of the stuff that I don't really care about. So I can and if I can get rid of 20 just mediocre DVDs for like one Criterion film, that's good with me. I know the resale value of some of this stuff is not super great, but it's just still just getting rid of the stuff for the stuff that I care about because I would rather I would rather spend my time because, you know, I only have so much time to watch movies. I'd rather spend that time watching the quality stuff that I do care about, and it brings me joy. But that's my little like reasoning behind the quality over quantity thing. See, it's impossible to find Slumber Party 2 and 3, or Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3 on DVD, but I'm going to watch but I'm going to watch one. Is it any good? So I've not seen as you said Slumber. Yeah, Slumber Party Massacre. I've not seen Slumber Party Massacre 1, but I do own Slumber Party Massacre 2 on DVD. And yes, you are right. They are very expensive, especially 3, I feel like is like it's very hard to find. I know Scream Factory put out Slumber Party Massacre 2 and or 1 and 2 on 4K semi recently ago. Um, and I feel like those like I feel like it's still I want to say it's still in print. But of a decent amount of time ago, Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3 was put out on a double feature on Blu-ray, and that Blu-ray is now out of print, but it's also very expensive. So I'm very surprised. I don't know why the rights of these movies is like who owns the rights or whatever, but I'm surprised that like some company like Scream Factory hasn't put out like a box set of all 3 films on 4K. That would be fantastic. Um, so I've not seen any of them, but I would like to get around to watching them. Favorite zombie movie? Ooh, that is a great question. Um, I will say probably Night of the Living Dead, um, or Dawn of the Dead. I feel like those are two like pretty, typical answers. Um, yeah, I mean, if you consider this to be a zombie movie, one of my guilty pleasures is Resident Evil. I absolutely love those movies. And so if you consider that to be a zombie, that's probably up there. I don't know why I like the Resident Evil movies. They're fun. But yeah, I'd probably say Night of the Living Dead is probably, if I had to pick one, I'd say that one. Mainly because I feel like it was one of the first zombie movies I ever watched. Actually, I visited the graveyard that the opening scene was shot at, which was fun. And so I don't know. I feel like I have like a small like attachment to it, I guess. I've seen it probably the most. I feel like I watch that at least once a year. So I don't know. I'm assuming you're talking about zombie as the genre, not like Rob Zombie. But let's see, favorite zombie movie. Um, yeah. So I mean, as far as the zombie as a genre, I would say Night of Living Dead would probably be it. But yes. But what are some of I'm curious. What are some of your guys' favorite? I guess zombie movies, or I'm trying to think what else was discussed here. Um, let's see. Yeah, I guess just in general, what are some of your guys' like favorite types of movies or your favorite genres of films? But Busan is a recent favorite. Yes, I have that movie, but I have not seen it. Um, I've not gotten a chance to or sit down and actually check this out. I really want to. I feel like I've heard nothing but good things about this. Um, so I will. I'll have to check that out eventually. But um, yeah. Um, let's see. It's really solid. Characters worth caring about, and effective zombie action. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to, I feel like yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it that, I feel like I got that at, like, the dollar store or something, which is kinda fun. Um, but, let's see, I'm really excited to check out Pumpkinhead. It seems interesting and is the collector editions of the first four Alien movies on DVD. I got Aliens and Alien Resurrection collector edition on DVD. Yes, so I've seen Pumpkinhead 1. It wasn't my personal favorite, but I understand why it has like a following. I also feel like it would like maybe I wasn't in the mood to watch it, but I watched it anyways, and so that might play a factor. But I am curious on Pumpkin. As I have Pumpkinhead 1 and 2, um, and as far as the Alien films, the collector's editions, I have all four here on the collector's edition of DVD. Which this is one of the series that I love just to collect the different releases for. I have all of these on the collector's editions. I have this box set, which literally has the exact same discs. I think plus a bonus disc, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a 9 disc box set. And then I also have the VHS set or VHS box set. I have the individual releases of the films, um, like the special editions. And then I also have um, the Blu-ray or Blu-ray box set, and I also have, let me think, the VHS tapes individually. A couple of the laser discs. Actually, I think I have all of the laser discs. And yeah, I love I think I just like Alien, like the world of Alien. I absolutely love. I still need to get Aliens on 4K. That was a semi-recent release by James Cameron that I would like to actually check it out because I've heard mixed reviews of the transfer. But um, let's see. Let's see. Lucio Fulci's Zombie 1979 and Dawn of the Dead are my favorites. Yes, so I own Zombie. I own it actually. I have it on the Blue Underground 4K, but then I also have I believe this is the same. Yes. And then I also have it here on the DVD by Shriek Show, um, which is it's titled Zombie 2 because in where was it? Somewhere overseas, Italy, I believe it was Italy. Dawn of the Dead was released as Zombie, and so to ride off the success of Dawn of the Dead, there was slapped the label on for Zombie 2. But this is the movie Zombie. So, and then there was a Zombie 3 and Zombie 4, and even a Zombie 5 actually. So I would love to check out the Zombie 3, 4, and 5s eventually. And I'm trying to think. I think Severin put out Zombie 3 and 4, and then Vinegar Syndrome put out Zombie 5, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll have to pick those up at some point. But let's see, The Return of the Living Dead 2. Yes, Return of the Living Dead is also just a classic. And I absolutely love those. Um, nice Alien collection. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is Laserdisc worse quality than VHS or is it the same? So actually, it's slightly better than VHS. I'd say the quality is like it kind of falls in between VHS and DVD, in my opinion. Now, a big factor of that is your TV setup. I have my Laserdisc setup hooked up to my 4K screen, and then I watch VHS tapes on my like tube TV. So, technically speaking, I should have the Laserdisc player hooked up to the tube TV as well because I feel like it's designed more for a, CRT TV. I personally think Laserdisc looks fine. I don't like think it's like unwatchable or anything. I also don't try to get caught up in the quality of everything of just I feel like um yeah, I feel like laser like I try not to get caught up in the quality of everything of like having to own everything on the newest and latest quality. Um, but yeah, overall, I'd say like I enjoy watching Laserdisc because I feel like they're still pretty solid. But Laserdisc shine the most in audio department. Yes, I will say yeah, they do sound pretty solid. Um, and yeah, I need to watch more Laserdisc. I have like a pretty good sized collection. The only downside that I don't like about Laserdiscs is like when they are stacked, kind of like a DVD shelf, or Blu-ray or whatever. Like the spines are so tiny. It's like a vinyl. Like it's so small that sometimes I forget what I even have. So maybe in the future I'd like build like a vinyl bin, but for Laserdisc, so I can like just flip through them instead of like pulling them out. And so maybe that way I'll be watching more. Because also the artwork on Laserdisc is absolutely beautiful. But do you have any favorite Giallo movies? That's a good question. Um, and anything by Dario Argento, I really enjoy. I feel like I mean, he's definitely like one of my favorite directors. And so pretty much, and especially his early works of like Deep Red or I mean, Opera is not really early, but like, let's see, like his first two films or Four Flies or Suspiria or I'd say probably out of all of them though, I'd probably say Suspiria is probably my favorite. Um, it's just such a it's such a fantastic film. And yeah, let's see, Blood and Black Lace by Mario Barava. So I have maybe I have the Mario Barava collection. Um, I don't think it's in here though. See, Blood and Black Lace. Blood and Black Lace. I have these two Brava collections that I picked up semi recently, but I don't see Blood and Black Lace on here, um, which is unfortunate. But I will say that I feel like I have that movie. Maybe. Um, that sounds so familiar. I feel like I've seen Blood and Black Lace. Um, it's gonna bother me now. I'm like 90% sure I've seen it or I own it, or it's somewhere on my radar. Um, but see, have you seen all the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies? Do you own any of them? And if so, what are your thoughts on four and five? Nothing to do with the franchise and Weird AF. So I've seen see, I've seen Silent Night, Deadly. You said Silent Night, Deadly Night, right? Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I've seen one and two. Two is just you know, it's a it's one of those like good bad movies. And have I seen three? I don't think I've seen past one or two. I own three, four, and five on VHS, and I know Vestron Video put out a Blu-ray of three, four, and five that I do not own yet. But I remember really enjoying one. It's definitely like a fun, like Christmas horror film. I feel like also the story behind it is even more interesting of just like how, people kind of lost their minds when it came out. But overall, I mean, I like those two. But I've not seen three, four, and five. But I do know what you're talking about, how like four and five have like nothing to do with the other ones, and so just kind of like a random weird thing that they did, like this slapped the label of Silent Night, Deadly Night on a movie just to make it sell. But yeah, I'll have to check those out. I'm hoping maybe this Christmas I'll get around to actually watching the other Silent Night, Deadly Night films, but. Deep Red is my favorite Argento, but Suspiria is probably my favorite film of his. Um, yes, yeah, my favorite Argento Giallo. There we go. I need to rewatch Deep Red. It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember really liking it though. Um, and there's like the five films of his that I have not seen. It's a like Tenebrae, Phenomena, Card Player. Dark Glasses, Phantom of the Opera. I think those are like the five. There might be more. I'm not sure though. Um, but yeah, overall, I really enjoy everything Argento puts out, which I keep going back and forth of adding. What's his name? Fulci. I'm debating if I want to add him to my director section as well, because it's also not only is the director section like my favorite directors, but it's also just directors that I take more interest in of like, seeing where they started from as a director and then like as their work has progressed over the years. I just find it interesting. And so I go back and forth with like Fulci because I have a few of his films, but like I feel like him and Argento are kind of like compared a lot. Um, but yeah, let's see. I will say if you do like the giallo type of films, um these are Forgotten Jolly. I don't know if there's a big difference in giallo or jolly. It's Gialli instead of Giallo. But Vinegar Syndrome puts out these nice box sets of these films, and I feel like I don't know, they're very interesting. I think they have 6 volumes out at this point, but um, and then of course when it comes to um, you know Giallo Essentials. I can't recommend Arrow Video puts out some really nice editions of Giallo films. So, but let's see. Like with all his, with all, gosh, okay. Like with all the news with Winnie the Pooh being a MCU type thing to do or to think, do you think it's good or bad for horror? Not sure what you mean by that, but I'm assuming you're talking about the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey series, I think. Um, because I haven't heard a ton on that topic. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I can comment on it because I don't know exactly what you're talking about with the Winnie the Pooh uh being an MCU type of thing. Do you think it's good or bad for horror? Um, let's see. They're trying to make an entire cinematic universe of movies. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Um, yeah, I don't know, because I mean, I know I've seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the first one, and I think they like there was a second one that came out. And I don't know. I don't think it will ever like be on the same level, obviously, as MCU, but like, um, I don't know. I feel like it's going to fail because I feel like horror fans want like original films. Although I can't say that for sure because horror has so many sequels to so many different movies. Um, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I kind of indifferent about it. In regards to if it's going to be a good or bad thing for like horror as a genre. Um, Yeah, I feel like there's like for every sequel or remake or whatever for horror, there's going to be 10 original ideas coming out of nowhere. Um, so I feel I'm not too worried about it because I feel like horror is such a vast genre in general that I feel like there's going to be so many just like cool original ideas constantly coming out. But um let's see, what is the worst movie in your collection and what is the ugliest movie in terms of cover art or design, or failed box economics in your collection. Um, okay, so I would say so. The worst movie, I have a section of like good bad movies, that are movies that like if you sit down you can enjoy. I've talked about this before on this channel, but my least favorite movie of all time is movie 43. That's probably the worst movie in my collection because I feel like even with good bad movies, you can still like sit down and enjoy them with like a group of friends. Movie like Birdemic and stuff, I feel like you could just like enjoy. Um, but when it comes to movie 43, I feel like it is just one that like you can't enjoy. It's bad. It's like it's not funny. It was like the behind the scenes of everything was just kind of scummy of like how he got the movie made and just also the design is terrible because the whole marketing of it is just like, oh, what is movie 43? And like trying to trick people basically into going to see it. Um, and just basically using like a long list of celebrities that were part of the film, um, you know, as the advertising. And so overall, I'd probably say that that's probably my least favorite. Also, it's just like the worst. It's also ugly design and just yeah, I don't know. There's probably a worse one, but off the top of my head, that's the one that comes to mind. But um, see. Can't be any worse than the run of remakes in the early 2000s. Yes, as far as horror films, like, and that's the thing is like for every horrible remake that came out in the early 2000s, like every now and then there was like a solid like movie, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. Like I love that movie. Um, I feel like it's kind of like an underrated like I don't want to think like I mean I like really for whatever reason, I love that movie. It's one of my like favorites of the series. Definitely not my favorite overall, but just in general, I really actually enjoy that one. But that one is like an example of, in the early 2000s, there was just a ton of horror remakes coming out. And, then there was like movies like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre that kind of just got like swept up with all of the other like bad remakes. And so, um, I don't know. I do think like I mean, yeah, there was a ton of bad there was a ton of bad remakes there, but um favorite Universal classic monsters. Frankenstein, definitely. I absolutely love the story of Frankenstein and just it's probably one of the first ones I saw of the Universal classic monster movies. It's probably the one I watched the most, but yeah, I just absolutely love Frankenstein. Um, Let's see. I refuse to add Halloween Ends to my collection. I hate it, or I hate it that much. Yes. So the only reason why I would add it to my collection, I don't own it yet. The only reason why I would just to be like having the complete Halloween franchise. Um, yeah, that's the thing is like with the Halloween even the 2018 remake, when I first saw it, I really enjoyed it, but which I even have it here on, let's see, I have it here on a 4K, and like, I really actually enjoyed this when I first watched it, and I thought it was really good. But then, like, the more I thought about it, and just it kind of like sat with me, the it takes place, it kind of ignores all the sequels, and it's just like a direct series, like a direct sequel to the original film. Um, And it kinda treats Michael Myers like he was this guy who terrorized this town and, like, was, like, just affecting hundreds of people throughout the whole town, and so many people died, and, I mean, if you go back and rewatch that first film, like, only a handful of like, there's not that many, like, deaths within the first movie, and so, it's a very tame horror film, and so I feel like there's, like, this disconnect from, this to, like, the original where it's supposed to be, like, a sequel to, um, it's, like, treating it like this, like, he was this, like, horrible, like don't get me wrong, Michael Myers was, like, according to the film, he was a terrible character, but, like, um they're treating it like it was, like, this big deal, when reality, I just feel like it wasn't. He killed, like, a handful of people, um, and so that's why even, like, as the remakes go on, so we had, like, Halloween and then Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, um, I just feel like they treat it like it was this big, huge event that affected every single person in the town, and, everyone even years and years after are still, like, just affected by it every single year, and, it feels disconnected to me, and so I was not a big fan of Halloween Kills. I thought it was laughably bad, And then even Halloween Ends, it was just like I thought it was okay. I don't know. It was better than expected, but it still wasn't good, if that makes sense. Um, and so even when I think it was Best Buy, they put out Halloween, like the trilogy of Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, like on like a 4K steelbook, that like a box set. And I wouldn't have mind getting it, but I also just didn't feel like rushed to get it because it's just I don't know. I don't see myself revisiting those movies. If anything, it would be watching the original ones and even some of the sequels of the original. I feel like, I mean, Halloween 2 is a fantastic movie, and Halloween 3 is also a fantastic movie. But I don't know. Overall, I just wasn't my favorite franchise towards the end there. But um, yeah, so I'm going to wrap this thing up. I've been talking for an hour and 5 minutes. Um, But again, thank you to if you're rewatching this on the playback, thank you. I do appreciate you tuning in or you taking the time to watch this. Again, if you had any questions or comments or answers to anything that was talked about on this, please leave them down below, and I will comment back with a response. Hopefully, let's see. Halloween Ends is my worst of the entire franchise. Yes, I would say, Halloween Ends is pretty rough. Um, are you or are the new Exorcist movies going to be um, screwed, or do you think the next two will be good? So I've not seen Exorcist Believer, um, and I don't know. It kind of goes back to the same thing. It's just like with some of these like remakes of these series, like the original is so good, I feel like you just can't touch it, like and so it's like, why bother? I mean, Exorcist 2 was a fine example of that, of just, like, you can't, you can't even get close to the original with something like that, and so, even with, like, Believer, like, I'll eventually see it, I'm really not in a hurry to see it, um, but, like, the fact that they're now just making a bunch of them after, I feel like it's just kind of like I don't know. I'm not very excited about it. Personally, it's not my type of it's not like I just like don't get excited about remakes and especially sequels to like reboots and stuff like that. So, um and nice collection by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um but yes, thank you guys everyone for tuning in on this live stream. I have you know, I appreciate it and hopefully I mean, I'm still trying to figure out exact time on these things. Like I said, I usually do these at 7 o'clock on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time, but today I did it at 4 o'clock. Just to kind of try get a feeling for, which is the best for everybody else. Um, and so, if you have thoughts on that, please leave a comment on that as well. What works best for you? Um, but yeah, so I think we're gonna end it here. But I hope everybody has a fantastic week. If you are curious, I have a link tree with a bunch of just fun links of things. I have like a letterbox if you guys are curious on what I've seen in the past and stuff like that. So, and if you want to be notified for, maybe not notified, I don't know how to get that set up, but if you do follow me over on Instagram, I do post about live streams, ideally 24 hours in advance. Sometimes, like this last one, was not 24 hours in advance. But I will do my best to get that out 24 hours for you to, I guess, prepare. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope everybody has a fantastic week and go watch some fantastic movies. So, thank you guys and take care.